amongst you does the data bundle, like the packages? Like 2G will be okay for me. Hello? If someone can get access to the internet for the packages, even 2G or even 1G will be okay for me. So if you are able to do it, then you do on my line. Then after the class, I'll see, we'll talk about it then, so that we don't waste time on it, okay? So let's start. I've already shared the slides. Today, I intended to run, in fact, I didn't want to take unit 2, but I have, because there are some things that I have to go through with you so that we move on to business lessons, because I learned it's just 4 teaching, and for business document, you have to do all the business documents, especially the letters aspect. We have about 7 different types of letters you want to discuss that I want you to try your hands on. So about 7 or 8. So we have a lot to do. That means that we have to go with the top speed. So just prepare. But I'll try as much as possible to explain in details for you all to understand, okay? If you have any issues, you can raise your hand quickly. Don't wait till I end before I realize you have issues at the beginning. In the course of teaching, you can raise your hand and can address them. But I will pause for a while too and ask questions if there are any. Can we start now?
Yes, madam.
Okay. I asked about the data bundle package, but no one responded. I asked about the data bundle package, but no one responded.
Hello, madam. I think it has to do with the network because it's not working here as well. When you try buying, they tell you network issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
tried
because the guy
myself.
that does it for me is at Kepos, and I'm in Kaswa, so I have another guy too at Kaswa. He's not even picking up. Who does it for me? But I
It's
had a
not
one
working.
on UCC campus who does it too, and he said they have issues there. He is still on campus.
Yeah, I had to
Anyway,
switch to Vodafone a couple of minutes ago, so it has to do with the network.
okay. Let's hope
Yeah.
that I have about 1.5 gig, but I'm just hoping that these people will not tell me that they are all midnight bundles, because it's been a long time I bought that midnight bundle. But anytime I'm left with about 1G, I'm not able to work with it. And I'm beginning to think that it's still the unused midnight bundle. And I'm seeing it plenty on my package, making me think that I have bundle. And okay, let's continue. Let's hope that things would work. I already shared. Oh, let me share again. All right, so we are looking at introduction to MS Word, Microsoft Word. Last week, we just explained the introduction to computers and everything you have to know about computers. And just as the course title implies, document processing, you realize that it's about what? If you want to interchange it, processing a document, what then is a document? That is what should come to mind. That, okay, you are saying that document processing. What do you mean? You say we want to process a document. What are you processing? A document. So what is a document? What is a document? So to the class, what is a document? Others may call it a file, a digital file, right? Even though some of these digital files these days directly we want to what have the hard copy of it, so it's a digital file, all right, on your computer it's a digital file, so it's a soft copy. But as soon as you print it out, it becomes a hard copy, and then you may want to put them in a file, the hardbound file, and then you say, oh, I'm carrying a document. But we have a lot of documents on our machines or on our computers or laptops or whatever device you are using. We discussed the computer, and so I believe by now we are on course. So we explain these things after discussing the introduction, and then I took you through screen saving and wallpaper rights. If I did not, please, I'm not going to take it today. I'll give you the slide so that you yourself would rehearse it. It is not even an examinable question, just that you should be able to change your screensaver. Some of us, as whenever we buy the machine, by default, whatever screensaver or wallpaper has been given to us is what will be there till 10 years to come. As far as the machine is still workable, we don't change anything. We are okay, because we are afraid that when we change it, we'll go and miss or lose all our documents. No, we can go through it later when you get the slides, and then see if you have other templates on your machine. You feel like a particular template is more appealing to the user. You can change your screensaver, you can change your wallpaper. You go through the process, and then you realize that, oh wow, now as soon as you change your screensaver, sometimes you open your laptop and somebody says, hey, you bought a new laptop. Or boa, assistant is screensaver, your wallpaper. So that is it. So you go through it yourself. And now back to what I said. Hello, is
Yes,
the
we are
person
here.
too fast? Is the person too fast? I said today you'll be rational, so please just tighten your seat belt. In fact, we are all using which of the cars has the highest speed? For those days, we used to think that maybe a Benz ne way ne a Rolls Royce or J Wagon. That is the 2026 vehicle we are going with. So we are going at a top speed. All right. So I asked you, what is a document? A digital file, right? That we usually store for future use. So therefore, we want to ask ourselves, since the course title is document processing, how do we come about with this document you are talking about? We are saying we want to process a document. Some of us, when we are being told, this contract, if it's a simple contract, that one by word of mouth, but a contract which is not simple, that is binding. The business student, right? You should have a binding contract. You need to provide the legal evidence, a document to attest to it that, oh, okay, this are the agreed parties and this is the agreement and we both agreed and we have signed. That's kind of document that comes to mind to the layman. But to any business student like what you are doing now, a document, any data file that conveys an information. So it's not, the information is not skewed to only business activity, even though ideally our focus will be in the business direction, because we are more into what management, and management has a lot to do with what business. But I'm not saying it is skewed to only business. But for most, because of the its formality and other things you want to discuss, basically when we are talking about document processing, we are going to be engaging with what business activities. You realize that you have to prepare a good document. Sometimes the way you prepare the document itself tells the reader or whoever gets hold of the document the kind of person you are. When he picks one document and see, we'll talk about it. I'll talk about what a format is. What do we mean by editing? What do we mean by formatting? We most of the time get confused with these words. The person sees the where the document has been presented and says, wow, Akwa School Ben or UCC. That is one. That is why they are the university of choice. The number one, the whole West Africa. Oh, no one say, hey, the whole West Africa, University of the outstanding university, the whole number one, and you have prepared a poor document. Please, it's not about you, it's about UCC. The first question, they don't ask, what is your name? No, they say, which school are you, which university are you coming from? So please, for business, at least, if not for any other course, document processing course, let your practical usage of your computer, I mean, expose yourself to them for them to say that, yes, you are really a UCC product. Do you understand? So let's pick it from there. Now, we want to process a document. What is that document? A digital file. Usually that digital file conveys an information. How are you going to convey that information? How are you presenting the information itself? It's necessary. Somebody does not even look at the content. It will surprise you. Some people don't even look at the content or your expression or your many words, but they look at just the arrangement of how you have presented your document, and the first impression gives what? Lasting effect on the mind of the person. So how do we come about with a document? We start from what we called units of a document. So today's lesson about introduction to MS Word, we are going to talk about how to begin or to write your documents. What comes into it? How do we get the document itself? We start with any letter, be it an alphabet, be it a number, be it a symbol or anything, even a stroke. That click on your keyboard. Yes, last week we did keyboarding. Whatever you click on the keyboard, number, alphabets, symbols, whatsoever, that thing is what referred to as a character. Oh, why is my slide not showing? Let me see. Is it showing?
No, madam.
It's not showing.
It's showing from my end.
It's hidden somewhere. Oh, I've opened so many files, and that is very poor. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. So that is what I was saying. Word processing is what the process of manipulating Word document in an appropriate form. And with this course, we are going to use one of the packages, which is Microsoft Word. There are other packages like the Apple Page, Open Office, Writer, Corel, Word Perfect. We have a lot. Even on our phone, some of the Microsoft Word is Microsoft 360. We have a lot of them, right? The easy word and others. So for our lesson or for this course, Microsoft Word. So whichever version that you have is fine. Those who also do the assignment with the 360 and others, please don't come and disturb me. I have to go and download that format before I'm able to open your files. Please try, and also downloading Microsoft Word, the simple version is fine. I'm not saying opening Word 360 and the new other formats is bad. They are equally good, just that assuming all of you open different Word documents, I mean, different forms of word processing softwares. Then I have to go and install all of these things on my machines just because I want to get access to your file. Please don't stress me with that. So just get an easy Microsoft Word, any version, Word 2016, 2000, but at least it should not be late. 2016 is cool. Or if you get Microsoft Word, any version. If I'm struggling to open, I'll just inform you to probably use a higher version or get 2016. Then I can easily get access to your assignment so that I can mark them. All right. I hope it's not going to be a problem, right? So we began with what? Unit of a document. That is what I'm saying. Units. Whenever we talk about unit, what comes to mind? It starts with singles, right? Our math class 1 math teacher, do you remember when we started units and something like that in maths? I've forgotten, but I remember the word unit was coming from what? Single items, right? So the same things happens here. Unit of a document, they are just looking at what makes up the document. What are the individual items together making up the document? We begin with what? A character. To make a document, at least you need to click something on the machine, right? So the first click on the machine, be it a letter, an alphabet, a number, punctuation, or any special symbols or whatsoever, is referred to as what? A character. Then assuming you have an alphabet, a number of them together gives you what? A word. So you want to write what? An application letter. You start with probably the sender's address, and you start with probably, some of us, we start with our names before the sender itself. Then we usually want to use the name of institution you are working with as our address whatsoever. So the character, the first digit, if your name starts with J, Juliana, so J is the character. Uliana. Separating it by space gives you what? A word. Juliana is a word. And that word is a noun. We will not go into details. The grammarians are there. So the word we are saying would be what? A group of characters makes up a word. A group of characters that are separated by what? Space gives us the word. Then group of words would give us what? Sentence. Sentence. But a sentence should actually give what? A complete thought. So someone may ask, what about phrases and clauses? They are also group of words that is there. But in the unit of documents, we want to just focus ourselves with character, word, then the group of word gives you a sentence. And then group of sentences together will give you what? A paragraph. Then what do you think group of paragraphs will give us? Assuming you have a lot of paragraphs, then you are moving on to what? And the whole sheet, that particular sheet had been utilized. So the group of paragraphs to give us what? Hello? Or when I speak, you cannot. No, the group of paragraphs, you have a lot of things to write. Oh. So I deliberately said you have a lot of things to write and you have exhausted that particular what? Sheet? How do we call it? Moving on to the next. Hey. Momentum Moko class 1. Moving on to the next page. Moving on to the next page. Let's look at, we have not gotten to document. Oh, see, we started, you want to create a document. We first clicked a letter, an alphabet, any symbol. That is a character. Group of these words, we have put a group of these characters are going to give us what? A word. Those characters, if they are separated by space or they are separated from any other characters by space, they are going to give us what? Word. So I gave an example, Juliana. I'm writing what? An application letter. I want to start with the sender's address. So usually the sender's address, I usually bring my name first before my address. And that is the ideal thing to do. So I've started. Now, putting these word characters together, I just typed click J is a character. I added more characters. U is a character. L is a character. I is a character. A is a character. N, character. A, character. Space. Before I move on to the next character, which is going to be my middle name, Joyce. So that group of characters giving us a word, Juliana. If I'm moving to the next character, but I am clicking a space before I move on to the next character, that first character, grouping them is what? A word. So group of characters, word. Group of words. That would indeed make a thoughtful, what? A complete thought, a complete meaning. Okay, gives you a complete thought. So it gives you something. So it is a sentence. And I'm saying some people may say that what about phrases, clauses? There are certain phrases and clauses. It gives a complete thought. It gives you that meaning. We are not talking about complete sentence. It is also a sentence. Phrase and clauses are also sentences, just that they are not complete. That is why you call them phrase. They are not complete. That is why sometimes you call them clauses. So the fact that they are a group of words, that is giving what a complete thought is a sentence. Then these sentences put together, so group of sentences are giving us what? Giving us an idea about something. So when these sentences are put together, okay, my first sentence in my application letter is probably straight away informing them of the reason for writing this letter. I wish to what I write to apply for the position of the senior lecturer position in management education, blah, blah. Yes, that's a lot of sentences put together, giving us what? A paragraph. So a group of sentences are giving us what? A paragraph. Why? Because I've written about 3 lines just to, the focus at that is to introduce myself and then probably just go straight and tell the reader why I'm writing the letter is to apply for the senior managerial position in your institution. Then I am going to the next paragraph. So I click enter. The next paragraph, I want to talk or highlight more on my working skills, experiences and skills and probably my educational background. So I have a PhD, I have masters, I have this, I have that, I have these number of working experiences, I have that, I'm able to do this, I work with a team, talking to you about my working experiences, my skills that I've gathered in all these years, and what I intend to bring on the table. I also want to give a complete thought. But I am not giving a complete thought in a sentence, but what? A number of sentences. So that should go to another paragraph. That is why we started with what? A character. We put characters together, giving us word. Putting words together, giving us sentence. Putting sentences together to give us paragraphs. Then I was asking you, assuming you have exhausted, so I didn't want to give you the direct clue to say you've exhausted the page. You are moving on to the next. You definitely say page, but I said you've exhausted the sheets. So you are moving on to the next what? So you're moving on to the next page. When you have exhausted that page, because you have a number of paragraphs and moving on to the next page, then we can say that the group of what? Paragraphs. Group of paragraphs, when they are what? Being exhausted, definitely you would enter into what? Pages. So you realize that you have page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4. Assuming you are writing a project work, you have table of contents. You see, table of contents would give us what? You have chapters, you have pages, you have all of these things there. So group of sentences are going to give you what? Paragraphs. And group of paragraphs are going to give us pages. So we say pages is what? The amount of text that can be printed on one page of a paper. So it's not ideally group of paragraphs, because you may have text that you may not even need to put them in paragraphs. Assuming you have table 1, table 2, table 3. Then you have 2 tables on one page. You are going to table 3. You cannot put the table on page 1. You have to take it to page 2. So must you convert the table into paragraphs? No. So what you are saying is, for the pages, it is the amount of text. And what we mean by text is not only what? Alphabets. Text can be numbers or alphabets. So the amount of text that can be printed on one page of a paper give us what? The pages. Then when we have exhausted the pages, we move on to what? Chapters. So a collection of pages gives us what? Chapters. So you realize that after you have had the number of chapters you want, you can now get your complete document or your file. Complete document or your file. These questions usually come in objectives. So you cannot bring one before the other. This one is systematic. You start from what? Character, then to word, then to sentence, then to paragraph. Then from paragraph, you move on to what? Pages. Then from pages to chapters. Then chapters to documents or files. So documents and files is what? Group of chapters. So for example, your project work, you have what? Chapter 1, chapter 2 to chapter 5. Each chapter has a number of what? Pages, right? Chapter 1 you should have about 10 pages. Okay, you will be doing project work. Ideally should have 50 pages, or I've forgotten the project work, what you should expect, but MPhil, you should have like 150 pages, including reference and bibliography and all those things. And for PhD, they're baby. Okay, so group of chapters, you are going to write them soon. Then you realize that, oh, okay, so this is what we discussed in class, that we want to process a document. We start with a character. We start with a character. Then eventually we end with our document or our file. From character, we move on to what? Word, the whole class, just for easy or quick reflection. Who can give us the whole unit of a document? Hello?
Hi.
Yes, so tell us.
Hi.
Yes. So I want to see whether you are following. Just mention them in a way that
From
can remember quickly in processing
From
of
characters,
character, you move on to what?
words, from words you move from sentence to paragraphs, from paragraph you move to page, from pages you move to chapters, from chapters you move to documents and files.
Good. Simple as that. All right. So quickly, we are done. Now we move on to what the features of word processing. We realize that when you are writing, because you are writing, you know that as soon as you exhaust the line, you move on to what the next line. In typing, have you wondered how it just moves directly? You will not tell the machine to move on to the next line. Have you realized that? Automatically, it moves on to the next line. That is what we refer to as the word wrap. However, when you want to create paragraphs, then you want to separate the first number of sentences that you have created. We said what group of sentences gives us what paragraphs. So moving on to the next paragraph, you rather press what the enter key. Have you realized that? So yes, pressing the enter key is different from word wrap. Do you understand? The word wrap is just saying that the continuous or the automatic way that the computer send the cursor to the fresh line while typing. As soon as the line is filled up, that is the word wrap. But if you want to show clearly to the reader that you have actually moved on to the next paragraph, you even realize that the spaces in between the line is actually greater in the paragraphs than the usual text spaces. For instance, if it's a single line spaces, you realize that the first paragraph are closer. And when you press the enter key, the space widens, giving you what? Gives you the paragraph. Any problem? Hello? If you have a question, just raise your hand. But if you are not contributing, kindly mute yourself. When I ask a question, just unmute yourself and answer. When you are done, you unmute yourself so that you don't disturb the class, okay? So what I'm saying is word wrap, the spaces between the sentences are usually smaller than when you ideally press the enter key to show that you have actually moved on to what the next paragraph, and that is different. Okay, then we call another thing cursor control. These are actually the arrow keys. Remember the arrow keys we discussed last week, showing us the direction to which you want to move. For example, when you want to edit, you are in your last sentence on the last line of the page, and you realize that, oh, let me quickly read the work. Hey, let me sure I go to come from. Hey, what kind of English is that? You want to what? Do some editing there. Some of you, instead of you just picking your mouse, using your pointer to go to the top, you feel like, oh, let me use the arrow keys to give me the direction to where I want to make that changes. So that is the cursor control. So top, down, left, bottom helps you to what? Control your text. And editing and formatting, what is the difference? We said, oh, well, have you finished the work? Oh, madam, I finished. Oh, I'm doing some small editing. I'm doing some small editing. You have been saying it. What does it mean? That means you just want to make changes to your document, right? So making changes to your document, usually by either inserting some things, new facts, new information, you want to delete some irrelevant things, you want to do your copy and paste as you've been doing, which one day we will catch you and we will mark and score you 0, unless you cite and cite appropriately. Other than that, plagiarism is a big offense here. In fact, it's a no-no for me. So don't go and copy AI, come and put there, pam. At least know how to what. I'm not saying AI is bad. We all use AI, but try and make it your own. Making it your own means what? Don't just copy what he has given to you on the app and come and submit it. You make your own changes to suit you. If there is reference, you have to cite it appropriately. If it is something that is helping you as a guide, it has given you the guide. You to use your own language, tone it into the formal way which you should write, so that we see that this is from your work, not a copy and paste work for me. Okay. So that is what changes, making changes to a document, be it adding, deleting, subtracting, and all those things. They are all referred to as editing. But what is formatting? Formatting is looking at how you want your document to appear on the page. It should be presentable. It should be appealing, so that the reader sees it and says, wow, you are from a good university of choice, the number one. Okay, so what goes into formatting? Whenever we talk about formatting, there are certain things that we look out for. So it's not only about your contents. For example, you are asked to prepare right from business documents. You are moving on straight to letters. And letters, you are going to write a number of them, different types of letters. You yourself will marvel. That is where you enjoy the course. So, for example, I'll ask you to just type let me start with an order letter. Now that you are in the festive season, I know a lot of you have ordered a lot of things, new furniture, new clothes, fabrics, and other things, shoes. Good. So you are going to write an order letter. How are you going to write? You ask me. So formatting, I'm going to ask you, ideally, letters or most business documents like letters should be what? What should be the line spacing? You can't write letter and it will be double line. It should be single line spacing. So I see your letter is double line. The first impression is this person doesn't know what he's writing. That is formatting. If you have typed the English, everything good, on point. Now the formatting is poorly done. It gives you a bad impression. It creates a bad impression in the reader's mind. So if I'm taking your letter, application letter, why in double line spacing, because you are short of words. And unfortunately, you are a short person too. Please, this one there, forgive me. It's because of some emojis on WhatsApp. The person said I'm short of words, and then the emoji is a short person. So you are short of words, so you are using double line spacing to type a letter, application letter. I will not recruit you. I'll just read your letter and say this person doesn't know what it's about. Even a letter, you don't know how to format your letter properly, and you are typing with double line spacing. Single line spacing is the best. At most, it should be 1.5, but single line is the best. Double line 2.0 is too much. Then we talk about the left and right margins. How are you doing it? When you are going fully blocked, everything should be at the left margin. Your addresses should start from the left margin. But if you want to go the indented style, that means that your sender's address is starting from what? Your right margin, the recipient's address starting from the left margin, and then yours faithfully, that is what? Is it the subscription? Yours sincerely, and those things. Fully indented formats, it would also go to the right margin. This time around, we have semi-blocked and all that. I will teach you very soon. I've talked about line spacing. Okay, setting of margins. I've spoken about it. Then paragraph settings. How are you ensuring your paragraphs? If you know that you want to use 5 paragraphs, let us see it clearly. That is why right from the onset. We started with what? The unit of a document. And right from there, we started with what? Word wrap. Word wrap is different from what? Certain paragraphs. Certain paragraphs, I said, you press the enter key and it automatically shows that you are moving to the next paragraph. So don't finish with one line and say you are going to next line. You are going to enter before you move to the next line. That means even if a sentence has not ended, you have already moved to the next paragraph, which is bad. Word wraps make use of your paragraph already. So moving to your next paragraph, then you press the enter key. Others too may feel that, oh, my sentence ended exactly on the line. So if I'm going to the next paragraph, it has automatically gone to the next line. So that is a paragraph. It is not a paragraph. It is still part of your old paragraph that you are writing. If you want to clearly show the paragraph, press the enter key, and that would show the clear paragraphs. Another thing is sometimes because of the line spacing that you have used, when you press the enter key once, it is looking as if it is part of the paragraph, the spaces between them. So you'd wish to press the enter keys twice. The best thing I encourage my students to do is they should either remove space before paragraphs so that it will clearly show the paragraph. Because when you add space before paragraph, then you'll be forced to press the enter key twice for you to clearly see the paragraphs of the document. If you get me, if you have been using your computer for a number of time, I think you should understand what I'm saying because you are used to it. But if you are not used to it, then you may be thinking I'm probably talking too much. Then we talk about what? Certain font size to use, please. So far, okay, let me just ask the question. What is the ideal font size to be used here at University of Cape Coast? The font size and the fonts, the type of fonts that is supposed to be used here. Because there are lots and every institution has its own fonts to be used and the font size, the strict one that you have to use. We have ours. So which one is UCC? UCC uses what type of font and what type of font size? For its documents, I mean your project work, your thesis or dissertation. Any idea?
Just trying to guess. 11.
12.
Yes, it's 12. And the font size is so, but what is the fonts? What fonts are you expected to use? That is the Times New Roman, okay? Hello?
Yes, madam.
Hey, at the Times New Roman,
Hello.
oh, don't worry, we'll move on to the document itself. Then where I have already labeled the parts, you already have it on your machine. So you look at the labeled part of the MS Word, and then I would ask you to locate where you can change your font and your font size. Then you know the Times New Roman I'm talking about and the font size. If your machine is at default 11, please, henceforth, even my assignment, because I want you to be used to the system. So I want you also to go by the Times New Roman and the font size 12. That is the first thing. So my first assignment, even when you have the content 20/20, and I see your font size 11 and fonts caliber, and when I'm at 2 now, I call 18. Mente baako koraa ma na enye wo de. 2. So that you must learn a lesson. Okay, so I've said it in class. Please ensure if at most machines by default is on as a caliber or calibra. I don't know how they calibre or calibri and font 11. When you start the work, change it to times and then font size 12. If you are done, highlight the whole thing and ensure that it is still at times and 12, because sometimes when you've changed it and you start typing, it goes back to default. So when you are done, before you save the work, try and highlight the whole thing. We learned the control keys last week. Control C, you copy, but if you're highlighting everything is what? Control A, right? Select all. So you select all and then you change the fonts and the font size to Times New Romans and then font size 12. Okay, so these are what goes into formatting. Footnotes, you have page numbers, sometimes like your project work, for instance, you need to do all these formatting before you start doing, so that while you write, at least you know that, oh, you have moved on to, so far you have worked on what? Only 5 pages, and you said you are moving to chapter 2. Hey, chapter 1, 5 pages. No, it's not adequate. You need to write more. So you need to make adjustment. Hey, but assuming you don't have page numbers, and once I will try and no why 2 just 3 pages. We say we will project work. So the page numbers should be there for you to know that you have only done 3 pages work. And the font size, the font itself, you should have an adjustment. We call it justify. Control J. Justifying the work means when you select all and you press Control J, it arranges it orderly like a block style. The edges, the right margin, the edges are so beautifully arranged in a straight line. Perfect. When I see such a work, before I don't even read, I see it and I already have an impression that this student knows what it's about. So when I read and the content is not too good, because of the presentation alone, the formatting, Times New Roman, font size 12, you have justified the work. The edges at the right side is in order. Everything is on point. Wherever you are supposed to position anything, it is there correctly. If there are tables to be inserted, you have labeled them correctly. Acquire good. Wow. That one now, just say you just have the whole score. Then you move on towards I've talked about page numbers, headers and footers. There is a way to insert headers and footers. You discuss all of these things, but please, even Microsoft Word, I remember after SHS, I went to computer class, and that computer classes, the whole period was to teach MS Word. Why? Because there are lots of things that MS Word does, apart from typing, So it is not for me to teach everything that MS Word does. With your computer, at least with your leisure time, just open a Word document and take each of the commands there. There are a lot of commands there, and see how you apply them. For example, when you go to insert, we'll look at them briefly. The reason is today, I promised myself, since we are ending at 6, I promised myself that at least by 1 hour, 15 minutes, I should be done with MS Word, so that we can quickly start with the letters. So that if we are not done with letters, at least Thursday, we should be done with letters. And then probably in our next meeting, which is next week, we can do the CV, because CV writing too is a lot. CV and the job application itself. Meanwhile, if you're able to finish on time, there is this particular unit that I have skipped because I realized that we have only 4 teaching weeks. That is the basic format of business documents, manuscript writing. It is so nice and so interesting. Very nice and so interesting, but it takes, if we are done and there is time, you treat it and you would enjoy it. Those who went for the secretarialship programs, or those who had probably gone to, you would understand it better and say, okay, this is the modern secretarial a way of writing a document. You know, those days when you go for secretariatship or the secretary courses, you have something called the shorthand. This is something little about the shorthand. It's not ideally the shorthand that they treated then, but it is something little. Here we look at abbreviations that we use for preparing a manuscript. That one, now we are not even considering with the manuscript, because after you have had the manuscript, you need to type it. So it becomes what a typescript. So I wanted us to do that because it's also very important. That is what we usually do first before we come and prepare the document itself. So ideally, right from the introduction to MS Word, that is what I'm supposed to treat now. But that may take time. And if I don't take care, the letters, which is actually our focus in document 1, that I'm supposed to treat all the letters. We have about 7 different types of letters. And what should go into each of them? If I don't take care, the major or the most important thing to tackle, you may not fully grasp the idea because of time. So I want to pause for the manuscript and then come and treat all the letters. When there is time, I'll go back and then we'll do the manuscript. It's a very interesting topic. Manuscript is so interesting. You can easily score 10 and you can easily score 0. If you are not attentive to details, you can easily score 0. Because this manuscript is so interesting. When I bring out the scheme, you see your errors. Hey, there was a small sign, just a colon. I didn't see colon. Oh, you are wrong, -1. It's so interesting, but you can easily score 0 if you are not attentive to detail. So manuscript is very, very interesting, but I would definitely create time so that we all experience it, okay? It will add up or polish you when you are out there, and then you have a boss. Maybe you may start as what? A PA, and then personal assistant. Your boss may not write everything in detail, right? Give you the shorthand, the abbreviations. You should know the interpretation of it. Don't go and type the abbreviated word for him again. He would ask you, which school did you go to? Okay. So any question on the formatting? So formatting, so we talked about what? The spell check, right? The spell check. And then sometimes some of us have already installed the Grammarly or plagiarism software, all of those things to check our spellings. So it's very important. You ensure that your content is good and is rich. Try as much as possible to avoid mistakes. There are certain things that we talk about in formatting business documents. The 6 C's. Every document should be what? Correct. We talk about what? Whenever you ensure there are no grammatical errors, as much as possible, you proofread. You read over and over to ensure that everything is on point before you forward it to the person. Okay. Any question, please? If the question started that, let's all open our MS Word. I believe by now you can open my MS Word. We did that last week, right? You go to the start button, click on all programs. Some of your machines doesn't have the full Microsoft Office, so you can just start clicking Word. As soon as you click on whole Microsoft Office, because the Microsoft Office have about 4 functions: Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint, Access. I don't know the additional ones they have added, but these 4 are the basic ones you may see. So just go to Microsoft Word. Whatever version you have is fine. Open the Word document and let's do a little practical test here, okay? Please, if you have been able to open it, give me thumbs up. Don't tell me you have used all the money for Chichinga this festive season. I said go and buy a laptop. Okay, better. Good. Coursework. In fact, I wanted to ask you, continue. Are you Franco from French speaking country? Because or you are a Ghanaian? Or which country are you from?
I'm a Ghanaian.
Course rep.
Yes, please.
I want to
Partly.
buy this time for you guys who have not been able to open it so that we continue from there. You are Togolese?
No, please. A Ghanaian.
You said you were what?
Migrated Ghanaian.
Hey. From which we can say region or town or tribe or I think tribe would do.
Migrated into the Upper
Fancy.
West. No. Migrated from
Okay.
Burkina
You
into,
migrate.
yes.
Burkina Faso
To Upper West.
to the Upper West.
Yes.
Okay, okay. The
My
name
grandfather
sounds
came and settled there.
okay, but you migrated from where?
From Burkina.
Ah,
So we
okay.
are partly like Moshis.
I
But
see.
my mother is, yes. My mother, she is a Ghanaian.
Okay. I see. So then the name is if you had been a fan today and Kamakasa, I am fan for day. Hey, we like nice names. Sometimes you don't even understand. We just say, I didn't hear me do trauma ba. Okay, that's just by the way. That's a beautiful name. In fact, when you told me, I thought it was your
Thank you.
nickname, but I realized it was actually your name, registered name.
Thank you.
Welcome. Have you all been able to open it? So when we open, what do we see? We have something like this, right? Let's look at the screen. In fact, compare mine. This one is a picture. So if your headset, so briefly look at it. The first thing that comes to mind on every Word document, your document by default, whatever you type, the first characters, we said group of characters is what? Group of characters gives us what?
Words.
Word. Oh, a word. Share. No objective. A, word. B, words. C, sentence. B, pages. No, A, adio madam oka word and now words. Word. No, I words. No, wait. Group of these words rather gives us what? Sentence. But group of characters gives us a single word. Word. What I'm saying is, let's type anything at all. Let's type something that we actually want to capture to be a heading. You can type a word, just a word. Type anything. I want you to understand something. So whatever you've typed, assuming if you have nothing to type, just type assignments because you are last week, you people, I said you should open your WhatsApp, put me there so that I can put the slide And the assignment on it, because you are in a hurry to go and enjoy your Christmas, you did not do that. So you are piling up the assignments. You have forgotten you have 8 more letters to write for me. 8 more letters, and you have already piled the first one day. Where at the end of the day, out of the 8, you will do all of them, and I may ask or request
Yes,
for 2.
madam, we did that too. You are on it.
No, it was just yesterday, Sunday,
Ah.
or yes, when I
That's very
postponed it.
true. That's
It
true.
was just Sunday that
We are sorry for that.
I even alerted the switch monitor. I alerted the woman that this is it. Yeah, so you have filed it. Well, that is, I don't want to stress my students. My students are refusing not to be stressed. They want stress because that makes them a student. It's fine. Don't worry. You have 8 more letters to write. Out of the 8, I may ask you to submit just 2. And the 6 that you have done will not be what I would ask. I'll ask you for a 2 that you are yet to do. Then you realize that, madam, pamaye sis pan kombo nyama ye. Na me fa no manu 2 ya wabo no me nye. Nyama ye sis ni nyina wan kan mu bia. Ha, sa na me suban tie. That is how
Good.
Jesus will come. Okay, so just prepare. This is the what you see on the was your MS Word page, right? So I wanted to just type assignment 1. Just type it, whether everything in capitals or whatever. Just type assignment 1. What do you see? There is a small ribbon. We call it the file ribbon. The office, but sorry, we call it the office button. Or the file button. And I read them Ruby. Should I show it? Uh, if I use the case
Yes, Alice, I think you need to know. Is Madam on, please?
No, please. Madam is not on. We are waiting for Madam.
Okay, okay.
Charlie, so how was the exam? So better, how was the exam?
It was cool, oh, my great.
Beautiful. Move disca. Hey,
It was okay.
deputy director. And tell them we could director one director two. Hey,
Hey, you did you a patch?
hey. Wait, you tell them I could do it. You say, a deputy director for your president. Quality and access for your president. Dr. Munaki was a Munaki, Isaki was a then. When I could say,
It's a hack.
huh?
It's a hack.
Ah, that's the name.
Yeah.
I call him Isaki. Yes, I'm going to one director too. I mean, come
Any
on.
employer,
I don't go to school with him.
yeah.
Now, sir, deputy director, no. I just a government appointment.
And when you deputy director, say Didi, when you write to that one, you ask for before, and then you be appointed. The deputy director there, you write to. No, what about deputy director?
I'm talking about the two deputy directors under the president. Director
No,
General
you
of
be appointed.
GES.
They will appoint you.
They will appoint you. So after DD, which rank are you going, director?
After what?
After this DD, after the deputy director, which rank are you going again?
Yeah, document processing. Why you have to? Odi be for you. Ade o pese. Why you do?
Mami no wabao. Mami no wabao. But I'm going to say Vodafone data, Madam Joyce, why? Because I think in data in Europe. If you call, it's a better call Madam. Call Madam and find out if she has Vodafone number so that we can do Vodafone data for her.
Make me use the Wi-Fi.
Wait. What do you call Madam?
First, Cabra na yanto my mano.
I said call Madam and find out. Me, I use Telecel. So call Madam and find out if she has Vodafone number or television number. Then we can buy data for her.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Enti mefi so ache na mo mfrɛ me no.
Oh, Madam. Sorry.
Obi so frɛ me wa ho. Na de da mente pa.
Me ama me frɛ.
Na me phone and that's and that sound so me da to do not disturb. Samu. Menya miss call so me say baby. Is that sound? So I was only checking the sound that if it's reduce the sound, not knowing that it's actually do not disturb. So the sound quiet barely. Usually when I sleep, I put it. I don't want to be disturbed when I'm sleeping.
Na ye ka say o data na asa na ka be pe bi asa ni amount.
Monton Sunday. I don't know why it went off because I've been
Yeah.
what was the last thing I said?
Mommy, please, do you have telephone number?
Oh no, the MTN, the two numbers are MTN. No.
Oh, the way the network is empty, and when you are buying data, it's not going through. So unless we buy telecell for you.
I don't have telecell.
Oh,
I
sorry,
don't have
sorry,
telecell.
sorry.
Don't
Let
worry.
me try and see. Let me try with that one.
But I want to know the last thing I said. Hey, no.
Madam, you said we should start assignment.
But what did I ask you? I said something about project work. Or that one you didn't hear.
No, madam, part of
I
coverage
said,
area.
hey, Makasa Papa, from a mistake. We were talking about these margins, and I'm asking, why do you think that by default, I'm saying that by default is 1 centimeters, top left, right, bottom. By default, that by default means that automatically the computer, whenever you open MS Word, the margins are set 1 top left, bottom right. So, however, so whether assignment or when you are typing a letter, memo, or any business documents, you just go by the default settings. However, when you are typing your project work, your thesis, your dissertation, you are asked to always set the margins at 2.0. You will be at the position to be launching your books. And you still have to set your margin at 2.0. Why do you think the left margin, we are insisting that you have to change it to 2.0? What comes to mind? Why do you think you are asked to do that? Or you think it's just rules that you have to follow? This Gen Z group, everything they question. Oh, our time we don't question it, we just follow your leader. So we don't know. They said we should do it and we are just doing it. But this group, they question everything. So let us also try and question things that we used to do in the past. The last time I've actually come to see my grandma, and 92 years of age. I've been asking her sometimes, even when it is not raining, anytime she's going to bed, she covers her mirror. I just ask, why do you cover your mirror with cloth? But it's not raining, because I am thinking that maybe when it's raining, it comes with lighting and maybe the tender striking and all those things. So when it's raining, it is good to cover your mirrors and not expose it to shining surfaces. So that is my mindset. But it's not raining, so why are you covering your mirror with cloth? You have to ask. There might be a particular reason. Do you get it? So why do you think that we are saying project work, thesis work, you have to use 2.0 for your left margins? It's something that is logical. It's not about just following your leader. Okay. Frida says margins help with clarity and readability of text. Yes, but in what way? Explain it further. So 1.0 doesn't make it clear. Is that what you are saying? So it's simple. The issue has to do with the load or the content of the book. Assuming you are writing your assignment and do 5 pages, 2.0. No, there's nothing that. But imagine you are project thesis, for instance, 150 pages. And if assuming you use 1.5, there are labels, tables to be drawn. When you do the comb binding, some of the words will enter into the comb bound. That is the main reason why. The volume of the book or the volume of the pages, pages together gives you what chapters. Okay, the group of chapters giving us what the whole document. So look at chapter 1 alone. Now, MPhil chapter 1 alone should be like 15 to 20 pages. Chapter 2, by 3, 4, 5, maybe 150 pages minimum, or max. I don't know if that is the minimum. Yeah. So assuming let's say you have about 150 pages, then you are using 1.10 centimeters. You do the comb bound, and then when you have gotten to the middle of the chapter, like let's say chapter 3, middle of the book, where you have opened the book, then you'll be squeezing to see the text that has entered the comb bound. At the end of the day, you will destroy the book just because you are not able to read those texts. So you are right by saying for clarity and readability of text. But the deeper understanding is that to avoid all of these things, whenever you do the comb bound or when you are binding the book or the pamphlet or whatsoever, because of the volume of it, in order to avoid some of these errors or mistakes, there is a need to, that is, take it from default 1.0 and set it at 2. So here in UCC, it is even compulsory and it is part of the formatting techniques that lecturers look at while preparing your project work or dissertation or thesis or whatsoever. You need to set your margins for 2.0. So document processing is not only preparing you to the business world to go and display there, but at the end of your program, you are supposed to write a project work. So that is not where we are going to teach you how you prepare your documents in your project work. We have already taught you here. So those who have not done document processing in other courses, if they are going to science markets, old site markets, or other markets for them to be charged and process these documents in the right format for them, the type of line spacing to use, 2.0, you have typed you did not even type, you wrote it for somebody to type for you. You have done document process, you can type yourself, you can do the editing yourself, you can format it in the appealing way that is prescribed by UCC. The margins are well laid, 2.0 at the left margin, the rest are 1.0 each. Where because of your tables, there's a need for you to use the landscape. You know where you can take that landscape from the tabs, layout tab, where you have the margins, you have what? The portrait or the landscape. It follows right after margins. It is there. I showed you the picture. And then it continues. Where you have insert pages. At the end of each of the page, you know that right from the chapter 1 itself, you start with numbering pages, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Before you get to chapter 1, there are some pages that you have to number with Roman numerals, I. You do all these things by yourself and nobody will chop even one kobo. Me, I say nobody, project work masters, nobody took my money for arranging document for me. If somebody is taking my money because of the comb bound, because that one, I don't have that machine. If I have the machine, even at a point in time, I bought my own printer and nobody took my 50 pesos per page printing work. I bought my own A4 sheet, did my own printing, sent to supervisors for us to. So until the final work where I want to do a compound, I realized my ink in my printer has finished. And so because I'm going to do compound, let me go to a good printer. Go for them to print it with good, ink. Clean one, neat one, because mine has faded because I've been using it all the time. And this is my final work that I'm going to compound, taking it after the work has come. So that's the final one. I'm keeping it for storage. So I want a good work. So that one, I took it, and then that was when I realized, hey, sign a printing board in, sir. But you've done document processing and you still go back and then you allow people to charge you, then you have been unfair to yourself. You understand? So please take this course seriously and appreciate it. Because some of these people, they don't even know the right thing to do. The first time I went there, that was level 200. That was when we started doing document processing. And I have arranged my work properly. And the woman has misarranged it, done it anyhow. I said, no, madam, this is not how we do it. She said, if you know how you do it, go and do it yourself. And I took it, I want to do it myself. Then I said, madam, I went to a different, just print it for me. Because if you know what you know the right thing, don't go and give it to them. They will do something for you and then you come and spoil it. Because I've told you for other courses, theirs is to just read the content. But document processing, look at the title of the course, how to process a document. So it is not only about the content, but it is also about what? The appearance, and that is what we mean by the formatting techniques. That is why I've taken my time to talk about the formatting techniques, because I know they hear me when your work, type letter, inquiry letter, and you think I'm just going to read the content. This is not English class, even though English plays a major role there. Of course, if it's 20 marks, content alone is like 10 marks, but the formatting itself is 10 marks. Line spacing, is it correct? Have you justified the work? Has all the, where you have to position them. Are you using a blocked style of writing, or you are using the indented style, or we have the semi-indented or the semi-blocked? All of it has its own way or style of writing. The question has stated clearly, using the blocked style of writing, write an inquiry letter. And because right from primary 1, you have been told always to write the sender's address on your right. So you did not read the instruction, you went to use the indented style of writing. The first thing is you are wrong, because the instruction did not say, say 0. But because of what? Fairness, or because you want to be subtle a little, we would say that, okay, let's give content 10 marks. But the formatting style, of course, the whole format is wrong, because the question is what? Using fully blocked style, not using the indented format. Into formatting alone, you are losing 10 marks. Do you understand? So I want you to understand that document processing course is not only about the content, but the formatting itself, because you want you to prepare a document that is legible, appealing to the reader. Everything is on point. Don't write a letter and forget your dates. How can you write a letter, a whole letter? And we had some issues. I remember a letter from the presidency came and the date was wrong, 2023. And meanwhile, to that event happened 2024. Then we said, right from the president's Nairo Kessie, 2024, and you have written 2023. I just saw the letter, and the first glance, I did not even read the content. I said, is this coming from the president? I saw the signature, Office of the President. Hey, what is happening? You see, so some of the readers are like that. That is how we have been trained. Then people will be like, yes, because of dates. Forget about the expressions there, because of dates. So you have to be careful. All the time, we talk about what? Try as much as possible to ensure that all grammar and mistakes ensure that you correct mistakes, proofread. So nobody proofread before it came out to the public. The whole Ghana, even other nations reading Ghanaian graphic, and then you see public notice and there is wrong dates. Who did that? How many hands did the document go through before reaching out to the public? And nobody identified that there was an error with the dates. I showed it to somebody and he said, yes. Ah, really? Hey, I did not even see it. So I said, yes, the date is wrong now. Another person, hey, I did not say, I said, man, document processing here. So document processing, please take the course seriously. Everything is important. Formatting, very important. Okay.
Madam, please, your screen is not showing.
Oh, I was just summarizing what we did today. So I was just talking about these things.
Okay, madam.
The ergonomics, we did that last week. Do you remember? How to sit. See, we did this. I think this picture should have been parts. I should have taken this part of unit 2 and position it in the slide for unit 1, because I always want to teach this the first day of the lecture and not the second day of lecture. But even though it's part of unit 2, I did that. So we did this last week. But today we ended with what? MS Word itself. These functions, what I'm saying is there are a lot of things on MS Word. We can't take them one by one. I said after SHS, I went for computer classes, and MS Word, the whole period, we took them one by one, trying to what? If it is drawing tool, if you want to insert picture, I mean, it's a lot. But at this level, we assume you already know, so you can just play with it. Where you are not so okay with it, then you ask for help. But I've summarized all that you are supposed to know here. Like here.
Okay, madam.
Do you understand? You realize that these things, they are on your screen. When you open your MS Word, they are there. They are there, but the roles they play. The reason why I'm saying that, try and know the roles they play, because at every point in time, you'll be doing one thing or the other, and then you'll be asked, okay, go to the insert tab, go and insert a diagram. Hey, then how do I do that? Because you have not familiarized yourself with this. This is the view tab, and that is where we have the file, the home, insert, design, layout, reference, mailings, review. And I'm saying that for document processing itself, one of the tabs you use often here, home, inserts, even the design, this is for the graphic designers, people, they do a lot, but we may not do much. Layout too, that is where you may see your margins. Take your margins, and I've told you that for project work, always change it from the default setting from 111 throughout to 2.0 on your left. Why? Because when you do the comb bound, the text will be hidden there and readers will struggle to read. You're not Matthew book no. That is the, do you know something? Those poor people, I mean, who don't take consideration to some of these things. Books, storybooks, man, kwala na we no say, and kwala na masoya na matete books no. And young kwala na masoya the writer was not smart enough to know that the story is very interesting. And margins 1 to 2.0. Now the child wants to read what is hidden in the compound. But if you know this, at a point in time, while growing up in your career, you will be professors very soon. You have to write books. That is what makes you a professor. You have to write books, publish papers, do a lot of writing. And all of these things, you pick it from here. You are writing book for you, Professor Mafo Yadom. His business books, very big. Those are the business schools. Look at their business books, very big. And you want to use 1.0. all the writings would enter there, even though we still have some of them, you testify to it, that you struggle to even see the text. Very important text, but they are inside the compound because the writer did not take note of these formatting techniques. And I'm saying that is what makes you distinct because of your artwork, the product, what you have been able to do. You realize that, okay, this is the problem. Now you yourself, you bring a book which the meaning is even clearer, much more simplified, and the reader is interested to read it. And now you have put everything inside the compound. It was not deliberate, but eventually that is what happened. So what do? Right from the onset, while you are preparing your document, set your margins to what? 2.0 at the left margin to avoid distance. So that is what we discussed at the layout tab. The view tab too has distance there, where we have the print layout. They are all there. So just go. And I spoke about the fonts, which I said Times New Roman, font size 12. That is what is requested for every UCC student, project work thesis. That is the ideal tone. And because of that, for my assignment, I will not give instructions that do your assignment using Times New Roman and font size 12. None of my assignments will say that. But the caliber -1. Font size 11 -1, because the very first day of lecture, I've told you that this is the prescribed instruction, University of Cape Coast, for all your project work to use what? The same way the prescribed APAs is the APAs, the reference style is APA. And to assignment, what the reference they can Chicago are waiting. That is every institution. I don't know of Tech. I think Tech too may be using APA. We have other institutions, Chicago, we are saying use the APA style. So go by it. So I will not tell you your reference should be APA style. Your font size should be 12. Your distance should no. I will not do that. The same way, I will not tell you that you are writing a letter, use single line spacing. I will not tell you that. So if you were formally writing your thesis, and for thesis for project work is double line spacing. Now, mama was assignment, we'll throw a letter, not require double line spacing. Waiting. I am telling you this because we are training you for the outside world. Letters and most of the business documents are in single line spacing. The extreme you can go for other types of documents, maybe 1.5, depending on the type of document. But letter single line is the ideal thing. So I will not tell you are writing an inquiry letter. I will not even tell you are writing an inquiry letter. I'll give you a description. Out of the description or the instructions, you will know that this particular instruction demands an inquiry letter. So if you are writing an inquiry letter or you are writing letters, they are supposed to be single line space. You type and send it for me. I will check all your formatting techniques. I realize you have changed it to double line spacing. Your marks will be deducted. Do you understand? Yes. So follow the instructions. If an assignment requires some referencing styles, APA is the format. Don't go and use Chicago. Don't go and use any type. Use the APA style. That is what is accepted here at University of Cape Coast. Okay. Any question? We discussed this too last week, so that's all for today. Though that's not
No,
all.
madam.
We have 1 hour more. So ideally, the lecture time is 4 hours. But I'm saying that since I need 2 extra hours, I will not exhaust it. I'd rather make it 3 hours today and another 3 hours on Friday, right? We discussed it Friday, so that I can have my 6 hours. Rather than using 4 hours and then asking you to come another day for just 2 hours. No. let's play 3 hours, then I know that I've taken extra 2 hours. Okay. So you said no. What is the issue?
Hear you.
Any question? Any question? Okay, so today we have discussed briefly on the Microsoft Word itself. And I've said that you should try and just familiarize yourself with all the tabs and what it does. Okay, so that anytime you are supposed to work on a particular tab, you would easily locate the tab and work on it. For example, right from the when we were looking at new presentation, what you can find them all at the first button. Quick access also shortcuts for some of the common commands that you like copy and redo. Already know the control keys. They are quick access to type bar displaying the document size to if it's objectives, fine. If they are subjective, explain 5 features of MS Word. Hey, 5 crore. The features, whatever. Look at all of these things are